On the show this week, Dhaka-Colombo ties on a roll as both the South Asian neighbours enhance their bilateral ties. 5 MOUs signed. The war in Sri Lanka ended tragically amidst controversy, a controversy that still exists with the new UN report on flow. Sri Lanka, however, rejects it, saying it's flawed. It's shocking but true. Pakistan's Supreme Court has acquitted 5 of the 6 accused in the Mukhtar and Mai gang rape case. Mai, disappointed, vows to continue with her fight. After 3 failed attempts, India successfully launches the Advanced Earth Observation Satellite Resourcesat-2, a move aimed at beefing up its remote sensing capability, and 2 smaller satellites on the PSLV rocket. Deadly political and ethnic violence grips Karachi, Pakistan's largest city and the financial capital once again. At least 25 lives lost in this week alone. Hello and welcome to this fresh episode of The Week Gone By with me, Indrajit. In this program, we'll take you through all the big stories that took place in the region over the past 1 week. We would also be joined by Nadim Qadir, senior journalist from Bangladesh. And in Pakistan, we would be joined by senior journalist Shaukat Parasha, who caught up with the Pakistan Foreign Secretary Salman Bashir. The week, of course, started on a positive note in Bangladesh as Sri Lanka-Bangladesh bilateral ties took a new leap on Monday, as the 2 South Asian nations have signed 5 memorandum of understanding on agriculture, education, livestock information and commerce cooperation. The agreements were inked in the presence of visiting Sri Lankan President Mahinda Rajapaksa and Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at her office.
The MOU for Commerce Cooperation was signed between the Export Development Board of Sri Lanka and the Export Promotion Bureau of Bangladesh. Other MOUs are for cultural, education and scientific exchange programs, for cooperation in fisheries and livestock sector, and for vocational education cooperation. An MOU between Bangladesh Agricultural Research Council and Sri Lanka Council for Agricultural Research Policy was also signed on cooperation in agriculture. For Bangladesh, Agriculture Minister Matia Chaudhry, Education Minister Nurul Islam Nahid, Fisheries and Livestock Minister Abdul Latif Biswas, Information Minister Abul Kalam Azad and Commerce Minister Farooq Khan have reportedly signed the 5 MOUs. The 2 leaders discussed the bilateral issues important to their countries as well as to the region during the meeting. Ministers and foreign secretaries from both governments and Prime Minister's principal and press secretaries participated in the meeting. President Rajapaksa also met with the Bangladeshi Foreign Minister Deepu Moni, and she has expressed hope that the President's visit would further strengthen the bilateral relations between 2 trusted friends, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. Sri Lankan parliamentarian Sajin Vasgunawardene, AHM Aswar and the Sri Lankan High Commissioner to Dhaka, Sarath Veragoda, also participated in the discussions.
But that's not all. This week is all about enhancing bilateral ties for Bangladesh with its South Asian neighbours. Towards the end of the week on Saturday, India has raised the quota-free export limit for Bangladesh to $10 million from $8 million. The announcement came during the joint press conference of the commerce ministers of the 2 countries in Dhaka. Indian Commerce Minister Anand Sharma said Bangladesh's demand for duty-free access of 61 products is under consideration of New Delhi. Anand Sharma also said that India would soon provide 300,000 tons of rice and 200,000 tons of wheat to Bangladesh under a deal between the 2 neighbouring countries. On the other hand, Dhaka has sought a long-term agreement with New Delhi to ensure food security in the country. On Saturday, Food and Disaster Minister Mohammad Abdul Razak, giving reference agreements signed with Thailand and Vietnam to procure food grains under government-to-government basis, said that Bangladesh wants similar agreements with India too. Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina on Wednesday said that the ongoing crisis in Libya has heightened the need for formulating effective contingency planning and mechanism to deal with the problems of migrant workers in any emergent situation. For more on that issue, we now connect to Nadim Qadir, eminent journalist from Bangladesh.
I kind of interviewed Ambassador Swing, and he said that the migration is a huge issue now, and every day it's increasing. It's not only because of the need for employment. At one point there was a lot of migration for employment, but now there is migration for political reasons, like it's happening in Libya and other places, and also for climate change. So all this put together, migration is a huge issue, and the meeting in Dhaka only tried to focus that there was a need for all the members, the 123 member states, to focus the need for finance and the abilities to quickly respond to situations that happen in the Middle East. So he also mentioned that individual countries came forward. Bangladesh did its part also with the IOM in repatriating its nationals. So other countries also try to do the same, but sometimes it's not possible for national governments to send their planes in to rescue or evacuate their citizens. So in that case, what can IOM do, and how should the response be? And the discussions were taken on those lines, and the member states will recommend measures to see that how quickly they can respond and what are the areas and how they can do it. And that was basically the thrust of the regional meeting here in Dhaka. And for Ambassador Swing, who has been an American ambassador to Haiti, he said about the situation in Haiti after the earthquake, how IOM had to get involved. It was basically a call of the UNHCR, which thought that IOM could help internal migration also. So there the IOM helped the Haitian people from moving from one part of the country to the other part of the country, where it was safe, where they could set up tents and temporary shelters. So maybe these lessons will go forward, and IOM will be stronger in the coming days. That's what Ambassador Swing told me.
Now, in India, the week was of mixed emotions, ranging from politics to civil and human rights to technological achievements. Acting on a petition filed by an NGO, the Supreme Court of India on Monday banned the employment of children below 14 years of age in circuses across the country. The court also directed the government to frame proper policies for rehabilitation of those children who have been rescued.
Globally, circus is one of the most ancient forms of indigenous entertainment, representing a clean, unadulterated joy for the entire family to visit and enjoy. Children are especially enthralled on watching the acts of trapeze, gymnasts, cyclists, acrobats or jokers. Little do they know that this fairy tale world has another face. The artists performing in front of them are also little children, masking their smiles under their heavily made up faces. Welcome to the reality. Children as young as 5 become the fodder for people's fun. Lights, color, music and action, and future of thousands simply lost in darkness. India's Child Labour Act bans employment of children younger than 14. But circuses were exempted until 6 months back, when the government amended the law. Circus owners, however, have largely ignored the law, and now the Supreme Court is mandating that to be enforced. That's true. India's Supreme Court on Monday banned circuses from employing children and ordered the government to conduct raids on all performing companies to rescue minors.
This case deals with a large number of issues dealing with child labour, but today the court restricted its judgment only to the issue of employment of children in Indian circuses.
Children are often trained to perform high-wire acrobatic acts, juggling stunts and other attractions for audiences in India, where circus companies move from town to town throughout the year. India remains home to the greatest number of child labourers in the world, despite efforts by successive governments to address the problem through compulsory education and anti-poverty programs. Activists even say the number of children working in circuses in India could be in thousands. The court ruled on a petition from the Indian group the Save Childhood Movement, filed in 2006, after the group studied children in circuses and found such employment often led to child trafficking. The study, shockingly, also revealed the children were ill-treated, poorly paid and suffered abuse, including sexual one, from circus owners or managers. The case was on almost for 5 years, and finally the judiciary has woken up. It's time now for us to wake up.
The other big story in India, on the one hand, while a tense Ratnagiri district was returning to normalcy after 2 days of violence, the Maharashtra government has already got into damage control mode to ensure that the agitation against the Jaitapur nuclear power plant do not intensify any further. The local administration in Ratnagiri have been trying to pacify people. No violent protests were reported in the district on Wednesday too. In fact, the curfew was even revoked on Tuesday. Remember, there has been a violent protest in Jaitapur against the proposed nuclear power project in the state. One person, in fact, died in police firing on Monday in the Sakri Nate village.